Welcome to week 5 of the BTFL season 2. We have the Chicago Chiefs hosting the Indianapolis Guardians. Harry Sidney comes back from injury. Still no Barry Sanders, but Chris Chandler, he's finding Mark Bavaro over the middle, weaving around defenders, making it into the red zone. And the drive would be finished off by Chris Chandler laying back, throwing it at the goal line to Mark Bavaro, and Mark Bavaro's got his first touchdown of the season. Jim McMahon, he play action rollout, bootlegs, throws it deep down the left side, jumping catch by the Hall of Famer John Taylor, making it inside the 20-yard line, and Harry Sidney, fresh off of his injury, would finish it off for a touchdown. Game is tied. Chris Chandler rolls out of the pocket. He throws it down the right side on the wheel route to Sammy Smith, getting it inside the 10-yard line, and then Chris Chandler would give it to the flats to Ron Moore, whoop, around defenders, making it into the end zone for the touchdown. It's a 7-point ball game. Chiefs are getting ready to punt here with Jeff Gossett. He takes the snap. He muffs the ball. He's about to get tackled, and he does get tackled. It's a turnover on downs. The Guardians will set up with a Nick Lowry field goal after the drive stalls, and it's the Chiefs' ball again. Harry Sidney whips around defenders, but he gets tackled. It's a fumble. Recovered by Andre Collins. Guardians take over. Chris Chandler lays back in the pocket, throws it down the right side to Sammy Smith, and Sammy Smith's got himself a touchdown. It's 24-7, and just to lay the wood onto the Chiefs, Jerry Rice catches the deep pass for the touchdown, and celebrate with your bad self, Chris Chandler, and Indianapolis wins 41-14. Both teams are now 2-3.
Today, the Washington Generals will be going against the Philadelphia Spirit without a Joe Montana, so Wade Wilson, who will be playing in his place, looks for a pass, completes it to Johnny Johnson, the fullback, gets past the 40, stopped on the 30-yard line. And soon after, Wade Wilson looks for another pass, completes it to Mark Carrier this time, stopped on the 10-yard line. Wade Wilson with a phenomenal opening drive, throws it to Johnny Johnson, runs it in for the touchdown. Philadelphia takes the lead. Washington was unable to come back after the score, so Wade Wilson, once again, who's taking over for the offense, throws it wide open to Johnny Johnson. He gets past the 40, he gets past the 30, past the 20. Will they catch him? I don't think so. Philadelphia scores once again, back to back. This time, Drew Bledsoe looked for a pass for Washington. Gets pressure, but he managed to throw it away to Conway, wide open. He's at the 40, he's at the 30, stopped, but unfortunately it settled down to a field goal, 14-3. Washington once again takes over for the drive with Drew Bledsoe, throws it to Conway, but it was intercepted by Hasty, but it was fumbled out of bounds, so therefore Philadelphia still has the ball. Wade Wilson looking for a pass, throws it to Mark Carrier as he gets down on the 19-yard line. The following play, Wade Wilson with another pass, throws it to Mark Carrier wide open and takes it in for the touchdown. At the beginning of the second half, Carney kicks the ball for Stone of Washington to return as he's catching, as he's running, breaks the tackle, plowing right through, still running, get off of me. He gets past the 30, past the 40, just short of midfield. But this time Drew Bledsoe almost gets sacked, throws it to Gray wide open as he gets stopped on the 3-yard line, but unfortunately once again offense has not been able to finish it. So Wade Wilson, the following play, is looking for a pass, throws it deep for Hayes, and it was caught for the touchdown, 28-6. Drew Bledsoe gives the ball to Mel Gray and hopes that there would be some kind of play going on, but he plows right through the line, falls just shy on the 42-yard line. In the following play, Drew Bledsoe once again gives the ball to Gray, slips right through the line like it's nothing, just running right through, but unfortunately it was settled by the fullback Derek Fitty. Drew Bledsoe once again who gets the ball back, but it was intercepted.
With the Philadelphia Spirit settling for a field goal, the game soon comes to an end, where the Philadelphia Spirit takes the W 31-13. Despite not having Joe Montana and Wade Wilson playing so phenomenal, I'm sensing there could possibly be a QB controversy between the two. But Joe Montana returns at 100%. It's going to be a very, very tough coaching decision. But until then, Philadelphia Spirit is going to enjoy another W moving on to next week.
Cleveland Cardinals are one of 2 teams that are 4-0. They'll play the Detroit Mustangs, who are trying to upset them, but this game did not start out well for the Cleveland Cardinals, as touchdown Eddie Brown would get a deep Cody Carlson pass, but after the drive stalls, Kerry Blanchard would add a field goal. It's 3-0. Mustangs get the ball back, and the ball would be passed down the left side. The jumping catch by Anthony Carter, getting it into Cleveland Cardinals territory, and then Otis Anderson goes, "Get off me," as he makes it into the end zone, taking a 2-possession game. Otis Anderson would get more flips to the right, getting the ball inside of Cardinals territory. Adding the field goal is Kerry Blanchard. It's good, 2-possession game. But Ken O'Brien says, "We're 4-0, we want to be 5-0, and I'm going to rush up the middle because I play for keeps." Ken O'Brien surveys the field. As pressure gets into his face, he throws the ball to Reggie Foghorn Langhorne after the drive stalls. Ken Willis would add the field goal. It's a 10-point ball game. Back into Mustangs territory, Ken O'Brien, he surveys the field as he gets the ball to Derek Brown as he gets inside the 20-yard line, and then Barry Word would get the flip to the left side. He gets his second touchdown of the season. More for Barry Word and the Cardinals as he gets the flip to the left. He switches fields, bobs and weaves around defenders, and then Ken O'Brien backs up. He surveys the field and throws the ball to Derek Brown as he goes into the red zone, and this would be a Ken Willis field goal. It's good. The game is tied. 4th and 7. The Mustangs aren't punting, and the ball is incomplete. That was a huge risk, and Ken Willis sets up for the game-winning field goal. It is up, and it is good! And the Cardinals are still 5-0, and Detroit is 2-3 after this big game.
The Boston Eagles hope to continue their brilliant start to the season as they play host to the Cincinnati Rampage. Well, against this incredible defense, top 3 in the BTFL in yards, passing, and rushing allowed, well, they would march right down the field with a Rampage early in the game. But late in the first quarter, quarterback Mark Rippon tosses just his 4th pick of the year to Wayne Haddix, and then really for Boston, their incredible offense takes a huge shot in the first half. Ernest Biner would be hurt and would be spelled by Johnny Bailey, who did play well in this game. But the offense suffers a turnover on downs with back-to-back sacks. However, a missed field goal here from Cincinnati. Ruzek, who's just 4 for 9 on field goals this year, would spark the offense. Randall Hill, who has been a huge home run threat with 40 yards a catch this season, reels in the touchdown. Meanwhile, into the second half now, Dave Craig and Boston, already up by 7, get another big play here, and that drive would be finished by Low Miller. And Boston leads the game 10-0. The ensuing punt here for the Cincinnati Rampage would be returned by Robert Brooks, and this fumble would be a huge momentum swing in the game. The Rampage scoop it up, and Mark Bortz is in the end zone. So it's only a field goal differential late in the fourth quarter. Boston would need a big play to seal the win, and they certainly get an opportunity to with Williams. And then the aforementioned Johnny Bailey, in for the injured Ernest Biner, wins it for Boston, and they are now 4-1 to begin the BTFL.
The Sharks visit the Rebels here in Birmingham. We start out with Don, the Magic Man Mikowski, taking the play-action fake, surveying the field, gives it over the middle to the check down to Dave Meggett. That Meggett gets it into the red zone, and Don, the Magic Man Mikowski, surveys the field in the red zone, throws it to Roger Craig, and he scores a touchdown for his hometown team, San Francisco. Jim Kelly needs to get the Rebels on the board. He throws a deep pass to Sean Dawkins, making it to the 40-yard line, and would flip it to Thurman Thomas, who would bob and weave around defenders, making it into the red zone. And then Jim Kelly would back up, see the field, see the check down with Thurman Thomas, and he goes untouched into the end zone. Ensuing drive for the Sharks, Mikowski play action fake, throws the check down to Meggett, and then would shovel pass it to Meggett. He splits the defense, making it into the end zone for the touchdown. The Rebels need to get points and fast. Thurman Thomas gets the check down, and he bobs and weaves around defenders, missing tacklers, and getting the ball into the red zone. Jim Kelly gives it to Anthony Thompson to the left, his fullback. The game is tied. Don, the Magic Man Mikowski, he's not so magic here. He gets sacked. It's a fumble. Recovered by Russell Maryland, and Chris Jackie adds a field goal. 3-point game. Jim Kelly, right before halftime, throws it over the middle to Andre Reed, making it inside the red zone. And then right before half, Chris Jackie adds the field goal. Needing points, Don the Magic Man Mikowski pulls a rabbit out of his hat. It's James Jett that he pulls out of his hat inside the 5-yard line, and Dave Meggett bums it in for the touchdown, vulturing that touchdown, giving the Sharks the 1-point lead. And then Jim Kelly, the Hall of Famer, throws it deep. The rainbow to Thurman Thomas. He could go all the way, and he does for the touchdown. It's a 6-point ball game. Don Bracken takes the punt, but he gets tackled. It's a turnover on downs. Sean Dawkins would do the skinny post over the middle, making it a 13-point game. Jim Kelly, he's adding more points onto the board, giving it to Andre Reed into the red zone, and the flip goes to Thurman Thomas, and the Rebels are adding insult to injury as it's a 20-point ball game. But Don the Magic Man Mikowski's not done. He needs to make this more respectable. He throws the rainbow to Dave Meggett. That Meggett ends up making it into the end zone after booming off defenders. Onside kick, Sharks need to recover. They don't. And then more points here by Thurman Thomas. The Birmingham Rebels would eventually win 55-35 as the Rebels are 2-3. San Francisco is on a 4-game skid at 1-4. 2-2-3 teams in the Warthog Atlantic Division. We have New York and Baltimore. We start off with Dexter Carter getting the handoff to the left side. He gets tackled. It's a fumble. Recovered by Ron Rivera. Greg Robinson gets the touchdown. Cortez Kennedy, Freddie Joe Nunn, and Ron Rivera get sacks of DeBerg. But then John Kidd is sacked in the end zone on a punt. It's a safety, 9-0, Jim Kramer. He's set up with the best first quarter lead in a long time. Darts it deep to Irving Fryer, and he gets inside the 5-yard line, and then Leonard Russell would get the bum in for the touchdown, vulturing that touchdown off. But disaster strikes, and Jim Kramer is intercepted by Todd Bowles, who's the defensive coordinator for the Buccaneers. This would lead to Steve DeBerg throwing deep into the end zone to Mike Sherrard, his favorite target. As it is a 9-point lead, Jim Kramer would add more points on the button hook by Irving Fryer. Then he would go back, survey the field, and throw it into the end zone to Irving Fryer for a touchdown. Scores 23-7. Steve DeBerg would roll out of the pocket, giving it to Dexter Carter, making it into Baltimore territory, and then Dexter Carter would whoop around defenders, splitting them deep, and would end up in the end zone for the touchdown, 23-14. He got a touchdown on the last drive, but Jim Kramer needs more points as he would throw it to Mark Ingram as he does a similar button hook to Irving Fryer from the last drive, and he surveys the field, throwing it deep into the end zone to Marv Cook, waiting at the back line. It's 30-14. Steve DeBerg needs to get New York back in the game. He would throw it deep on the seam route to Tricky Ricky Irvins. And Tricky Ricky Irvins gets to about the red zone and then would run it in for the touchdown as he bobs and weaves around. Leonard Russell would take the handoff down the right side. He would get tackled, and he's injured. He would be replaced by Eric Metcalf. This would lead to a missed Jason Hanson field goal, but the Bulls would get the ball back. Jim Kramer surveys the field, goes back, throws it deep down the left side to Mark Ingram. Jumping catch, and he pulls it down in the red zone, and Greg Robinson runs it in for the touchdown. Baltimore wins 40-28, and both teams are now 2-3. Big news came in this week as BSPN reporter Alan Schnefter reported that Steve Berline would replace Boomer Esiason as Fire quarterback. So Berline would start off gunning it deep all the way to Vance Johnson, and then Stephone Page would get the ball in the end zone for the touchdown. Seems great for a first drive, right? But Matt Baer misses the extra point. The handoff would go to Keith Woodside as he would weave around defenders, but the Fire would have to punt. And the problem was Jim Arnold would get sacked before he could punt the ball, but this would lead to Warren Moon throwing it to Pat Moon. Risen taking a 1-point lead because they would hit the extra point. And Keith Woodside would follow that up by bobbing and weaving, getting to around the 49-yard line, and then would make it deeper into Wildcats territory. Matt Baer would make this field goal to make it a 2-point lead before halftime. Warren Moon and the Wildcats would get the ball, inside fire territory with Rob Moore, and Norm Johnson would make this field goal, giving the Wildcats a 1-point lead. Steve Berline is in a place where he doesn't want to be, gives it to Keith Woodside, but he gets safetied, so it's now a 3-point ball game. Harold Green gets the handoff off of that free kick, getting it inside the red zone, and Norm Johnson would kick the field goal after the drive stalled. Warren Moon would stand back, give the ball to his fullback Merrill Hodge, and he goes whoop around defenders, making it into fire territory. And Harold Green would get the ensuing carry down the left side, getting it into the red zone, and then would get the direct handoff, and he would go whoop around defenders, splitting the defense. 4th and 30 for the Fire. Keith Woodside would get the handoff, which is a head-scratching call, and Charlotte would win 29-9, so I guess the Steve Berline project didn't work.